That's good, Broncos.
My name is Philo Shelton, and you're watching That's Good Broncos.
I am not a religious man, but I do believe in miracles, and the Broncos just got one as they defeated the Saints 25-23 in New Orleans on a miraculous play at the end of the game. Yes, Justin Simmons blocks an extra point attempt that would have put the Saints ahead, and Will Parks returns it for the 2-point play. Two rookies coming through big at the end of that game. Did Will Parks step out of bounds? We'll never really know, but it kind of fucking looked like it. First note for the Broncos, all players should wear all white shoes all the time from now on for that very fucking reason. Huge victory for the Broncos today. Man, let's circle back to the beginning of the game. Darian Stewart playing lights out. Just 2 picks early on. He recovered, technically a fumble that Bradley Roby popped out of the guy's hands. But 2 picks, setting the Broncos up. They take an early 7-0 lead, and the Broncos put together their best offensive drive to start a game of the season. Are there still offensive concerns for the Broncos? Yes, but Demaryius Thomas stepped up, had a great day, made some clutch catches. Trevor Siemian threw two bad picks. There's no getting around it. He did throw 2 picks, but Drew Brees threw 2 picks as well. Let's not forget that. The Saints turned the ball over 4 times on the day. After that opening drive, the Broncos offense struggled. The running game slowed down. We saw Trevor Siemian just get the shit kicked out of him all game. I don't know if the Saints finished with 7 or 6 sacks. I think it was 6 sacks on Siemian. He was hit 12, 13, or 14 times. Don't know the exact number because I don't research shit. But the one thing you need to know is when you play the Saints, miracles happen.
Smell that? What? Smells like loser!
And this time it happened for the Broncos at a time when the team desperately needed a win. This was a big game. The defense played extremely well against a very, very good offense. I don't know how Brandin Cooks makes that final touchdown catch. He was covered. He was double covered, and he walks away with the touchdown there. Saints fans, I know this is going to be hard to hear. That final play, Will Parks is running down the sideline. Maybe he steps out. Maybe he doesn't. But does it matter? Nobody from New Orleans was going to catch him. He would have scored. It's a technicality. It's just a technicality. It doesn't really matter because there was nobody there to stop him. Technically, Hillary Clinton got more votes than Donald Trump, but he's our president, and now we all have to fucking live with it. So New Orleans, you have to fucking live with Will Parks' touchdown. If I were you, I'd be more concerned at observing whether or not Justin Simmons could have been called for leaping on that block. That's what I need to reevaluate, whether or not that should have been a penalty. Right now, I say no, definitely not. Definitely not a penalty, but you never know. You never really know. And that's football. We don't even know the fucking rules anymore. Couple things I would like to address is one, stop shitting on the Broncos on Twitter. Calling players garbage, telling them to get the fuck off the team, that is very rude. You're not a good fan if you're saying that shit about them. You can be critical if they're not playing well, but stop calling players garbage. It is. I do not condone that. And don't loop me in when you do. I don't want to be a part of that type of bullshit. All right? And the other thing is, let's pump the brakes that every time Trevor Siemian makes a mistake, it's time to put in Paxton Lynch. It is insane to think that making a quarterback switch from one very young, yes, Trevor Siemian is not a rookie, and if I call him a rookie, I don't need to be corrected every time because he's essentially a rookie for another young quarterback who is not ready to play yet. That's not going to help the offense. That's not going to fix the offensive line. That's not going to stop guys from dropping balls like Virgil Green, who had a huge drop late in the game that led to a sack, that led to a missed field goal. All right? The offensive line is the biggest problem. If the Broncos can fix one thing in the offseason, it's the offensive line. Kansas City wins. They come out, they beat Carolina, even though they were down 17-3 at one point. So technically, the Broncos are still in third place in the AFC West. The Raiders were on a bye this week. Now the Broncos are on a bye, so hopefully the Texans can beat the Raiders. Imagine that. We're going to be rooting for Brock Osweiler next week. So everybody who talked all that shit about Brock, now we got to root for him. And you better root hard. You root hard for Brock. Get Brock hard for Brock to beat the fucking Raiders next week. A lot of candidates for Big Dick Player this week. You got Darian Stewart. You got Demaryius Thomas, who had, I think, his best game of the season. You got Justin Simmons and Will Parks combining for, that miraculous game-ending blocked kick. It's not going to go to anybody on the O-line. Maybe Matt Paradis, but it's not. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. Defensively, I think Kayvon Webster being back in the lineup helped quite a bit. A lot of momentum here for the Broncos to build on. I think there's some positive things to build on, and I think even though Siemian threw 2 picks, he had a pretty good game. Running game still needs to get better, but oh man, if you're a Saints fan today, that's a rough loss. That is a rough loss. I apologize. Not exactly, but it's who do the Broncos even play next when they get back from the bye? Is it Jacksonville or Tennessee or Kansas City? I don't know, but it will be nice to get a break from playing top 5 fucking quarterbacks every week. Brees, Luck, Carr, Rivers, they're all leading the NFL passing yards. They played them all this season. Just give the Broncos a shitty quarterback to play. Actually, the Broncos have the toughest schedule moving forward, so that's not great. Gonna be a wild ride. Just buckle the fuck up. And then grab a second buckle and put it over the first buckle, because I don't know if we can all handle it. Today I thought my heart might explode. Just glad the Broncos got a win. Make sure you check out my prediction episode, because I cursed the Saints. I picked them to win, but I also cursed them, and obviously my voodoo curse worked. Picked a 25-20 final score, 25-23, pretty close. Do I know a little bit about football? Yeah! Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Broncos. Amazing 25-23 victory. Make sure you subscribe here. Give me a follow on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter and talking to me during the games, your life is not complete. And always check out the Mile High Report for your Denver Broncos news, reporting, blogging, stuff needs.